Welcome back to Madison Square Garden. We've had 7 fouls called in the first 4.5 minutes or so of play, and Jeff Van Gundy, the officiating has been very much on his mind. He has a new theory. Let's hear it.
No, whining wins in the NBA. No, that's the new success formula. Chicago had it perfected, and they always got the benefit in the next game. Indiana whined its way to 40 foul calls in Game 2. We could guard Mark Jackson in the first game. Second game, the Knicks could not guard Mark Jackson. They would not allow it. We're not the physical team. Heck, we start 6-foot Charlie Ward, 6'6" slender Allen Houston. Larry Johnson's undersized. Kurt Thomas is undersized. And we have 2 physical players on our whole team, and they got these monsters coming in bigger, stronger than we are, and somehow we're the physical team.
I have a feeling Jeff would have preferred we play that for the officials.
But that's a very oblique way of whining.
That's right.
But that's when you know that you're playing, is when you're the shorter team and you have to rely on quickness. You're playing against the Pacers, who are the biggest squad in the NBA, and you're beating them. Basically, with the home court advantage now, the Knicks.
Well, the Knicks are complaining here. They wanted to do 24, but the clock didn't. The clock is not reset because the ball did not hit anything. Dudley tapped it, but it went to the glass, and that's all.
So 17 to shoot. The Charlie Ward inbounds to Houston.
You need more than 17 seconds to get a shot off. You're having problems.
Houston stepped on the sideline, stepped out of bounds, and the Knicks will turn it over again. New York off to a ragged start, turning the ball over, and only 1 of 9 shooting.
Now, they don't appear to know how to get a shot off, and that's been their concern. Spreweller's up and getting ready to come in the ball game.
He knows how to get shots up, Steve.
Smith's guarded by Thomas. Travel. Nope, they're going to call an offensive foul.
Well, you know, they've been trying to keep Smith in ball games as Sprewell comes in.
So Latrell Sprewell into the game for the Knicks, trying to jump-start their offense. He replaces Kurt Thomas.
But with Rick Smith to the bench and Antonio Davis in, Larry Bird is perturbed beyond belief with the performance of Rick Smith. Absolutely nothing.
Houston, travel. The 2 teams have now combined for 8 turnovers and only 3 field goals.
You know, this is an example of what happens when teams are uncertain and not going to the people that know how to play offense. Allen Houston too quick on that move. Reggie Miller's first shot.
And finally, the drought broken for Reggie Miller, who gets a bucket after approaching 50 minutes without a field goal.
But what did Coach Wooden tell Coach Jeff Van Gundy yesterday? Quit having your players back in. Tell them to turn and face and play with quickness.
Bill Walton was talking to his college coach, the legendary John Wooden, on the telephone when Jeff Van Gundy, as Larry Johnson misses, Dudley puts it home. When Jeff Van Gundy came into our meeting room and immediately got on the phone with Coach Wooden and brightened up, Jeff Van Gundy, you could tell it was the highlight of his day to talk to Coach Wooden, the legendary Wizard of Westwood. Miller, having hit his last shot, throws up an air ball with good defense from Houston. Here's Sprewell. Popped out, Dudley. Missed it, tapped in by Johnson.
What a pass, Chris Dudley. He saw the defense coming at the last moment, put it to the far side, the old Andy Overdrill, Steve.
Mark Jackson for 3. Jackson with the 3-pointer makes it a 2-point Indiana lead.
Only a 7-footer could see a pass like that.
The Knicks have done a phenomenal job of defending the 3-point shot. A great weapon for the Pacers.
Now, this is where Sprewell struggles in the half court. If he can get you in an open court and he can come at you, either pull up and bring it all the way to the hoop, he's been terrific. When he's had to try to score in the half court, he has struggled.
Davis. Antonio Davis with a miss. Dudley doing a good job on the boards, has his 4th rebound.
And Dudley has outplayed Rick Smith and stayed out of foul trouble.
Charlie Ward misses the layup. Antonio Davis takes the carom, and Indiana has it up 2. Jackson got away from Ward. Takes it back. Right laid by him again. Mark Jackson blows by Charlie Ward to lay it in. You expect Jackson to take the smaller Ward down on the low post. That time he just went right around it.
Van Gundy realizes that Chris Childs, the backup point, is a much better defensive matchup against the strength of Mark Jackson.
Houston can't finish.
But Allen Houston, again, is a little bit too quick with everything. He needs to calm himself down. Turnover against Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers. Took his eye off of that one.
Chris Childs ready to come in for New York. He'll replace Charlie Ward.
The quickness of Mark Jackson freezing Charlie Ward, and Chris Dudley was out trying to deny the pick and roll, so no defensive rotation whatsoever. Where was Kurt Thomas?
Kurt Thomas was on the bench.
Yeah, he's over there on the bench, sitting next to Jeff Van Gundy.
Obviously tough to make a block from there.
Sprewell nearly lost it after the screen from Johnson. Childs now at the point. Johnson has the open shot. Passed it up. Drives. And had his shot altered, nearly blocked.
Well, Larry Johnson
should have shot the jumper.
He's making tougher shots out of easy ones. You know, there was no sense in bringing it into that kind of defensive pressure with an idea of how to get the shot away.
But never double clutch when you have the quickness advantage. Just get up in the air while he's still down.
Illegal defense is the call, the first one against New York.
When you've got him on the perimeter, the pump fake, you freeze him there. You're to the lane, just explode. Go up and roll that hook over the top. Nothing the defense can do. It doesn't matter how big you are in there.
You got to have a hook to roll a hook.
He's got one.
LJ's only 1 of 5 to start the game, and New York hitting 17%. Antonio Davis couldn't get the roll. LJ the rebound. Here's the field goal shooting, abysmal by the Knicks to open the game.
Mullen. Oh, they did this one to Mark Jackson on the hold.
It's interesting talking to Van Gundy about the start. You said a 17% field goal percentage. He really needed Allen Houston and Larry Johnson to come out huge today. Those are the guys that can set the tempo and hold off the Pacers until this dynamic second unit can get on the court.
Nice drive by Allen Houston. Went one-on-one against Reggie Miller and scored his 4th point.
Well, Houston's got to have one of those days where he works his way into an offensive rhythm and he can't stop scoring, and that was a good effort by him.
Reggie Miller, he scored only 2. Fakes Dudley, couldn't get the foul call and threw it away. Childs leads a 3-on-2 break. Sprewell. There's the running game, keyed by that second unit. Childs to Sprewell.
And anchored now by Larry Johnson at the power forward position. Larry Bird forced to take a timeout. The Knicks are right back.
Now, Allen Houston on a terrific individual effort, got himself under control and was able to finish that one against the defense of Reggie Miller.
And then Larry Johnson digs it out, kicks it ahead. Knicks on the run, too tough. Sprewell, just an unbelievable finisher.
Tie game, the NBA on NBC.